Hello, everybody. All right, big news, of course, is we have a single dropping finally after a year from the album. Woo! Single! It's a song called Fire. It's coming out on May 14th. It's a heavy rock song. If you don't like heavy rock songs, I'm sorry. It is. It's great. It's awesome. The cover's sweet, done by Seven Nova, of course. We're very much looking forward to hearing the song when it comes out. There's 11 more songs. They're all coming out really good. We just got back vocals recently from another person on Fiverr, and they're fantastic. This album might actually be the Great American Rock album, and not just me saying that for promotional purposes. Who knows? It's coming out really good. So we're very excited to show it to you. Very excited for you to hear the album. No idea yet when the album's coming out. It's still got to be finished. Everything's got to be mixed and mastered. But first song's coming out May 14th, Fire. Fire! Right, to get in the meat of the video today, basically today we're going to be talking about, what I would buy if I won the lottery, or if, tonight blows up or something. If I had limited money, what gear would I buy? So this is a dream gear video. So if you don't like to talk about guitars or amps or that stuff, not for you. If you like guitars are sweet, for you. This all came about because Mike McCready put out his signature Strat for $15,000, which is nuts and way overpriced. But that's definitely a guitar on the list. So let's start the list. I play a couple different things. I like a couple different things. So we're going to start with keys. So money is not an option. What would I buy for keys? Pretty simple. The first item costs as much as the rest of the items in the list put together, times 2. But I want a Steinway Baby Grand piano. Because I know there's other great piano brands out there, not just Steinway. But in college, I went to International Piano Festival where they had a bunch of great Steinways, a bunch of great rooms. And I was able to play some of them. And it's the best sounding pianos I've ever heard in my life. So I want a Steinway for that. So Baby Grand Steinway. Currently, I already have my Korg SV2, which is fantastic. So I probably just want one other keyboard for some different sounds, different features. So I'd probably get the Nord Stage 3. And not just because it's red, because it's got a couple other things going on with it. There's a lot of feature sets I like on it that the Korg doesn't have. A couple different sounds. Also, it's red. So that's keys. Next, bass. I'm a bassist. Whoa! So you think I'd have a whole bunch of basses and amps and everything, but I don't. I have a couple simple basses and a couple simple amps. Currently, I already have my jazz bass, which is here. Wish I did a whole video on my jazz bass. My jazz bass is great. I don't need another jazz bass. What I do want is a P bass. So money's no object. I have to probably stay pretty standard. Just get a American Professional P bass, or maybe the Nate Mendel P bass, which is Foo Fighters bass's P bass, got the quarter pounders in it. But I play a couple P basses. And for amps, something very simple like an Ampeg SVT4 Pro head. On top, some nice 15-inch with a tweeter with a 210 cab on top of that, or something from Dark Glass. I've heard a couple different Dark Glass amps, and I liked everything I've heard. So, do some research on Dark Glass. But basically, I want a P bass into an Ampeg. So pretty standard and boring, but awesome. Right, next we'll go pedals. Guitar pedals. Woo, guitar pedals. I already have a couple of my dream guitar pedals. My pedal board, I've got my Hudson Broadcast. I got my Lightspeed pedal. I got my Strymon Timeline, which are all fantastic pedals. So we keep all those, of course. And to those I would add, first 2 pedals are a little bit gimmicky because they have like moving automatic knobs and whatnot. And they're very expensive. But every demo I've seen, they sound fantastic. And, a couple different people who have them in the internets who are not sponsored all say they're fantastic. So I'd get the Chase Bliss Audio, my paper here. Chase Bliss Audio CMX 1978, which is a fancy reverb. And then the Automaton preamp, which is basically a distortion overdrive, can be fuzz pedal too. Because those look really cool. They sound really great. Staying with fuzz, get an Analog Man Sunface Red Dot for a cool fuzz pedal. And then I don't like a lot of gimmicky pedals that do 1,000 things. But the last pedal will be a gimmicky pedal that does 1,000 things, which is the Eventide H9 Max. Mostly I want something I can pull out that, from my understanding, sounds fantastic. To take over a couple different pedals I would hardly ever use. I didn't put it on my list, but I'd also want a Strymon Flint pedal, because I want a couple different reverbs and some cool trims. I like cool trims. The last thing in the world of pedals, I want the Gig Rig G3, which is a controller that controls the pedals, so you can basically have all the pedal stomps boxes in one spot. Or you can set up presets where you can hit one button and it turns on certain pedals you want in certain orders. So I want control with the G3. All right, amps. Amps. I already have a Princeton. That'd be one of them. I already own a Princeton. My Princeton sounds fantastic. Princeton. Staying in the Fendery sounding world, I want the Victory Duchess V40. I've seen a bunch of videos on them. Basically, it's a little bit fancier Fender Deluxe. It's got a couple different sounds in there, a couple different presets, but it's basically a very nice, clean pedal platform amp. So I want that for some cleans. I'm not really a Marshall guy, but I kind of want something of that sound. I've always wanted a Dr. Z Maz 18, so I get one of those. I love the sound of an AC30. It's one of my favorite sounds out there, like a cranked AC30. But since I have an limited budget, I would just get the Matchless HC30. Matchless HC30, which is basically just a very fancy Vox AC30. And then lastly, I would get an Orange Rockerverb Mark III, because they sound fantastic. And I could crank it up and just play punk rock all day long and just be so happy. I don't write any punk rock songs. Pure Nonsense doesn't have any punk rock songs. But every once in a while, I just want to turn up an Orange amp and crank it and play punk rock. Because that's fun. Right, and lastly, guitars. Unlimited budget guitars. We're going nuts. The first one, of course, is a Mike McCready Strat, which is a guitarist from Pearl Jam. Just came out, 15 grand. It's way overpriced. They only made so many of them, just so they can price it so high. Yeah, it's all cool worn. They worn exactly like his guitar is. It's got some cool custom mount pickups in it. But still a $15,000 Strat. But I still kind of want it. If you don't know what Mike McCarthy Strat sounds like, it's from that album there. Pearl Jam 10. It's on a bunch of Pearl Jam albums. But just listen to Even Flow on 10. Listen to the solo. That's that Strat. Next, I want the Gibson Red Eye Collector's Choice number 16. It's basically Ed King from Lynyrd Skynyrd's Gibson Les Paul. Currently, Jason Isbell, that album there, wrong side, there we go. Jason Isbell owns that guitar. I know he paid a hefty price for it, and he plays all through reunions. So Gibson took this guitar, which is basically, I think, a 59 Les Paul, and they took the one Jason Isbell has, which is the Ed King one, and they spec'd it out and spent a whole day, like, getting everything exactly perfect, like all the scratches on it, all the electronics on it, so everything sounds and plays perfect, supposedly. And every time I see Jason Isbell play it, it sounds fantastic, so I'd want that. The next guitar, a Pete Thorne Signature Sir guitar. It's not because I'm a huge Pete Thorne fan. I really like his videos. I think he's really good. But I really like the guitar he put together. It's supposed to feel phenomenal. And you get a whole bunch of different sounds out of it. And the humbuckers in it don't sound muddy. So I want that guitar. I'm not into old guitars. I kind of like the newer guitars because they don't break as much. And they got a bunch of cool specs in them. But if I was going to get an old guitar, I'd want to get myself an old Gibson SG. The idea is I just go to a bunch of like old, expensive, fancy shops, pick up every SG, and I figure there'd be one there'd be magic, and that would be mine. And I spend a whole lot of money getting it all set up, and probably have to spend a lot of money keeping it maintained. But the idea of having just an old Gibson SG sounds phenomenal. The kind of last guitar, electric guitars that round out the collection, I would just want some sweet P90 Jazzmaster. I know I played the Mario Martin El Chupacabra for my brother-in-law. I don't know, he makes that sweet P90 Jazzmaster, so maybe one he makes with the louder pickups in it. Or just like some small builder, handmade Jazzmaster with P90s in it. And then I would just use that for the whole next Pure Nonsense album. It's a bunch of ambient distorted tones with P90s and Jazzmasters. Wow. Wow. It's a whole album. Wow. It'd be sweet. Oh. And lastly, everybody needs acoustic. I get myself one of those fancy new Akoa Taylor acoustics. What's it called? The K21E. It's a small acoustic guitar. It looks cool, and it costs like $5,000. For a guitar, it's like, this big. It looks like a little kid's guitar. But it looks fantastic, and every time I've seen a video on it, a demonstration, it sounds amazing. Plus, an acoustic. All you don't need is sit there and like solo on acoustic. You play campfire chords on it. Yeah. If I had unlimited money, that's the gear I'd buy. Play guitar. Ooh, I got this cool guitar. Oh, this is on loan from Mr. Dick Darling. It's a fancy Reverend. It's got some model number. Is it back here? I don't know what the model number is. It's a Reverend. It's got P90s in it. I've yet to plug it in. But acoustically, it feels great. Just got a setup on it. It feels phenomenal. So, plus it's in surf green. I'm pretty sure when he bought it, he didn't even look what the pickups were in the guitar or anything else. He just said, surf green, mine. One day there's going to be a song comes out called Trouble. There's going to be a melodic part in Trouble. That melodic part will be played with this guitar. All right, I'm tired. I have to work tomorrow. I have no saliva in my mouth anymore because I forgot to bring down water. And my daughter has to wake up early to go to school. So, bye. And I will tell you, if you watch one sailing video on YouTube, because you look kind of like the guy in the video and you kind of figures things out for himself, YouTube will suggest every sailing video ever made for you. I don't want to watch sailing videos. I want to watch one guy, which is this guy. Great videos. Watch them if you want. I don't care. But if you watch one sailing video ever in your life, you're going to get nothing but sailing videos in your YouTube feed for like years.